thank you so much for joining us on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. We are back again to look at those issues as they affect us as Nigerians and as Serbians. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning. My name is Ginika Oloha. Now, the issue of corruption allegation against the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Betta Edu, and her predecessor in office, Sadiya Farouk, has featured in the political space of Nigeria recently, starting from the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, who actually, when the issue of corruption on the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Sadiya Farouk, when this issue of corruption came up during the President Buhari's era, it was covered somehow. Nobody heard much about it. But now we understand that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has started investigating the issue of money misappropriation. Now, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management was actually created to address the poverty challenges which Nigerians go through the social intervention program, amongst others. But unfortunately, this particular idea of the ministry, the programs have actually been bastardized through corrupt practices with those who are supposed to be in charge of the ministry. Well, we understand that President Bola Tinubu has actually ordered a probe of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation led by Betta Edu. The Minister for Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated this yesterday. Remember that controversy had actually enveloped Edu's alleged involvement in the approval of 585,195,500 naira to be disbursed into a personal account. Now, in a letter allegedly signed by the Humanitarian Minister, she allegedly instructed the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madein, to transfer the sum to the account of one Uniyelu Bridget as grant for vulnerable groups in 4 states. Well, we'll look at all this on the platform this morning when my guest will join me virtually. But let's pause now and bring you the political update. When we come back, the show continues. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to the program, and thank you so much, Wisdom, for that update. Now, like I told you, we'll be looking at that corruption allegation against the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Betta Edu. You know, the President has actually ordered a probe into that particular allegation. Now, joining me virtually to look at this issue is Mr. Sam Ekuribe. He is economic rights advocate, also a social commentator and the executive director, Path to Growth Entrepreneurship Center based in Aba. Good morning, Mr. Sam. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. Happy New Year.
Good. Same to you. Thank you very much, Ginika, for having me this morning.
Welcome. Okay, now let us start with the issue of poverty in Nigeria. We know that when that particular ministry was actually set up, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, it was strictly aimed at making sure that the poverty rate of Nigeria goes down. Now, according to World Bank, the poverty rate in Nigeria has increased to 46% in 2023, representing about 104 million poor Nigerians. Now, the figure is alarming, obviously. Maybe that is why the current administration has decided to retain the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Now, Mr. Sam, does this ministry have the capacity to reduce this particular figure?
Well, thank you very much for those questions. Honestly, looking at the data they are giving us, that 104 million Nigerians live in abject poverty, I would think that is even low, because what we should be asking now is who is not poor in Nigeria. That we still have most of the middle class have been wiped away presently, and so we really need that agency, that ministry, because of the programs that they have pulled out: school feeding program, Empower, CCT, conditional cash transfer projects. Those things were meant to alleviate poverty and improve the livelihood of Nigerians. And since 2019, when that ministry was set up, with Sadiq Omar Farouk, coincidentally being the youngest minister in Buhari's cabinet then. That ministry has been dogged with a lot of controversies. But back to your question, I say we still need that ministry. We need to get things right. Their mission and their work is needed more than ever at this time in the country.
So you are saying that no need for the government to do away with that particular ministry, going by the fact that obviously the issue of corruption, corrupt practices have actually featured in the activities of those that are actually manning that particular ministry.
Yes. It has always been there. It's quite unfortunate. Just on December 20 last year, just as the year was ending, EFCC said that they are investigating the former minister of that Humanitarian Affairs, who was also the pioneer minister, for over 37 billion in embezzlement. And don't forget, in the heat of COVID-19 in 2020, they said they did the school feeding program with 500 million naira. So Nigerians raised a lot of that and saved off. When children are at home and everybody is on lockdown, where on earth did you get the children to feed and feed them up to 500 million? Some of these things are laughable, but so we all are now discussing it and looking at it as something that is customary. Just a few days ago, at the end of this year, the National Social Investment Program said over 1.5 million Nigerians have received a conditional cash transfer of 20,000 naira each. Ginika, do you know of any family in your village or around you that has received any 20,000?
None.
So my brother, you know, when Anago got so brazenly and looking at all of us in the face and telling us, when 1.5 million, calculate the number of families in across divided by 36 states, maybe in Abia State to get 200,000 families. So there's no way, no more here, you will not get at least 5,000 to 10,000 families. And how do you get those people get 20,000 and you did not hear of it? So it's quite unfortunate, my brother. But let's hopefully Nigeria will get better.
Well, the issue of corruption, you will agree with me, has actually characterized any program set up by government to actually address the challenge of poverty in Nigeria. Take, for instance, I'm sure you still remember the issue of NAPEP, that is National Agency for Poverty Eradication, under Obasanjo. Yeah. Obasanjo actually set up that particular agency. It was headed by, I think, Magnus Pakol at the time. You know, corruption actually, that particular agency didn't achieve much. And because of negligence and corruption, leveled against that particular agency. And we'll be wondering, why is corruption always the case in programs set up by government to address the issue of poverty in Nigeria?
Well, for every one bad program, there's also a good one. Under that same Olusegun Obasanjo, and when Okonjo-Iweala was the coordinating minister of the economy, I think there was one beautiful program, I think you win, where youths will write for their business plan, and then they get to win these things. And you saw a lot of people under that program, young people who win 1.5 million, 5 million, 10 million. We could see them within. So when the numbers are being mentioned, and you could see people starting businesses and doing this. So for me, it's about the human factor. When you have a beautiful program, who are the human beings you are bringing in to manage that beautiful project or beautiful program that you have set up? You can have a vision, but if you put it in the hands of vision killers, well, the outcome will always be the same. So for me, from NAPEP to, I think also during this past administration where we had I think the vice president.
Yes, with the issue of trader money.
Trader money
and even Empower.
Empower too. I think even though at the tail end there were a lot of go back and forth about fraud and these things, but we saw some people beneficiaries of Empower. We also trader money not so much, but we also saw some beneficiaries until those things were moved out of the office of the vice president. That was the last we heard of those programs. So again, I insist that it is about the human being there. There are people you bring in, they help, they do their work, and there are people you bring in maybe based on political compensation. These ones supported us during our campaign, and so they come there to recover whatever they have. So the difference for me with successful interventions and is just the human factor inside it. Thank you very much.
Well, many people want to think that would it be, okay if all these intervention programs and social safety net program and all that of the federal government, would it be right to route it through the agencies of government? Because over time, it appears just like some of them that you mentioned, especially the one that was manned by the vice president and probably Okonjo-Iweala. But other ones actually failed. And we'll be tempted to ask, is it really normal? Is it right? Is it the right thing to do for government to route these intervention programs, through the agencies of government? Or do you deal directly with the people involved? I don't know how it can be achieved anyway.
Well, my brother, I've also been part of a conditional cash transfer implementation in Nigeria during the Okonjo-Iweala era too, where the funds were disbursed directly to people in communities, and they got it through, I think, mobile money and all that. First, like I say, either way, it depends on who is there and how it. Let me give you an example. The former minister who started the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Sadiq Umar, was there, and there were people were saying that place was a cash cow where they were using for, and she has left now, and there are accusations, and EFCC is trying to prosecute her for 37 billion. And then the minister following her is it better Adu now? Yeah, better Edu. And she herself has been there for 5 months. Interestingly, she's the youngest minister in the Tinubu's cabinet at 37 years old. Yeah. A few days ago, she raised alarm. She said that the National Social Investment Program Agency, NCIPA, which is under her purview and which has Lihu, towards the end of the year, between December 27, Christmas, and 31st December, that she collaborated with her accountant or something, and they moved 44 billion naira out of a NCIPA account. 44 billion out of her NCIPA account, which ordinarily under her ministry. And of course, she raised alarm and called the EFCC. EFCC, as today, they say they have recovered, I think, 39 million from that movement. And then a few days down the line, that thing happened just this first week of January. Now we are hearing counter accusations that the minister herself paid 585 million naira into somebody's personal account, and in her response, she's saying it is witch hunting, that is because she blew these people own, and they are blowing her own. You see that, for me, either way, the whole system is rotten. But I also feel it is good. When two elephants are fighting, it's the grass that suffers. But when they decide to collaborate and maybe have a lovely evening, it's also the grass that will suffer. Yeah. Nigerians are on the receiving end of it. If the minister found out yeah, watching Kitty, they would have all shared 44 billion. And now that she's fighting with somebody under her, we are knowing that, oh, there's even 44 billion up for grabs. Those people said that is the annual custom when the year is ending. Every unspent money in the National Social Investment Program, they will find accounts and remove them so that the account will be empty. Next year, Ibubata another one. They won't ask what happened. And so instead of giving this money that are given to Nigerians to help improve their lives, they move the funds. And this is how it is. So for me, the agencies of government can still handle this. Okay. But again, we need to make what is the criteria for bringing people. For example, when Salihu that is in Nsipa, they say she was in charge of conditional cash transfer from 2017 to 2022, and then she was promoted to head that Nsipa, and this is what she's obviously on, and then this is what she's implementing. And brother, I feel if the ones within those ministries are too corrupt, can't we get people elsewhere? Maybe people that don't know the system. Sometimes you shake up a system. Now they have removed her, they have gotten somebody else, I think the person in charge of N-Power. So for me, and the whole system is all corrupt. Come on. There was a time when Obasanjo made it a point to go to World Bank and bring Okonjo-Iweala, go to also World Bank and bring this woman in NAFDAC, and people that don't know the systems in the ministry can head them and do major shake-offs. So again, I feel that it's not about government handling it. Even if, for example, the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs that they're investigating for 37 million, when got on account here, but there's one James Okwete that that person had 58 accounts in 12 different banks, and he got contracts of over 27 billion, paid over 6 billion to cash, to bureau the change for cash, went to bank, and this person is not a government person. So even if you get the wrong person and put them and say, okay, government agencies they will make the decision where the money goes, and they will also give it to the wrongest people. So myself is, what is the criteria? How are we choosing our leaders, people we put in there as ministers? I'm reading online, and they are saying that this Beta Edu was the henchman in APC during elections in Kogi and Bayelsa. They said she disbursed through her ministry over 226 million to APC governments in Kogi, Bayelsa, and this. And so if she was nominated for that position based on this kind of antecedents, or recover her investment, it is not a problem. It is not a problem. Obviously, the system will find a way to, or worst case, they'll make her a scapegoat. So it's quite unfortunate what is happening in Nigeria and what we are seeing. This whole thing is running around. I feel the government in power should look beyond politics and make the right appointment. We have seen it before in Nigeria. During Goodluck Jonathan, he will go hunting and bring the best hands wherever they are, outside or within the country, and do the job, and leave politics for politicians. But right now, that seems not to be the case. People are just being compensated, and once they get in there, they feel they can do, and that is why now you see, she sacked the person under her in SEPA, and the person is getting back at her because she knows that even she herself is doing also the wrong thing. It is unfortunate.
Well, if you're actually saying that we should go for technocrat instead of politician, I think that better do. I think she's a medical doctor. She was commissioner for health in Cross River State at some time under Governor Ben Ayade at that time, you know. So, but probably she has found her way as a technocrat in politics. But the issue is this: now that the president has actually ordered for probe, you know, we've seen cases of such order where president will say, oh, prove this person, prove this person. Do you think this probe, as directed by the president, would yield any positive end to this issue we are having? Or would it go the normal way other probes have actually gone?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I think it will go the normal way. I don't see anything major coming out of this. When Salihu did her own just 7 days ago or so, the president immediately suspended her. When her own was discovered that she has moved 44 billion out of government coffers, she was immediately suspended. So comparing what she did to a mere 565 million, well, I don't know what will. Maybe they will feel that the president wants to forgive her, and maybe wait if they say they are doing probe after 2 weeks or 3 weeks or even 1 month.
And she still, has she been suspended? I mean, this.
No, she was not suspended.
She's still in office, and the probe will go on. So how would they achieve any result? If somebody, you are probing somebody and the person is very much in his or in her office, won't the person frustrate the activities or the probe itself?
Of course. The only, obviously, I also think maybe the president is having the sentiment that this is witch hunting, because if not for the memo where she wrote that 565 should be moved to the personal account of the accountant at the ministry, we would not have all known. And to even to them, considering the amount under that ministry, 500 is just like accusing a governor of embezzling 100,000 naira, and maybe because of that impeaching the governor. It's law, but it's quite unfortunate. So I don't think anything will come out of the probe. I am thinking that after some time, they'll give her a soft landing, or Nigerians will forget as usual, and they will continue what they are doing. So that's just what I see out there.
All right. Just hold on. Let's take a breather now. If you're just joining us, it's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. My guest is Sam Ekwuribe, economic rights advocate, a social commentator, and also the executive director of Path Growth Entrepreneurship Center based in Aba. It's an NGO. Well, when we come back, Mr. Sam, we'll look at other areas that the government can actually look at to improve the lots of the people, especially the poor people in Nigeria. Please do stay with us. All right, so welcome back to the program. It's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Like I told you, my guest is Mr. Sam Ekwuribe. He's economic rights advocate, a social commentator, and the executive director, Path Growth Entrepreneurship Center, an NGO based in Aba. Welcome back to the program, Mr. Sam. Now, you are an SME expert, at least you know one or two things as regards to SME. What can the government do in this regard? Because it appears that this issue of conditional cash transfer, giving people money, at the end of the day, they will still come back hungry and the rest of that. It appears that such programs are not really sustainable. Can the government explore the SME sector to at least help the poor people in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, you know, there are lots of, before these kind of programs are rolled out, there are lots of analysis and feasibility studies from World Bank and all that, also looking at what has worked in other countries to improve poverty, places like India, Bangladesh, and all that. So before they put them out, they know that it will work. But again, if you go and learn a template and how to put it, it becomes a problem. For me, one key thing that can help, we can't say it is failing and it is not working. We can leverage technology. In this age, for example, the 565 million that the minister signed, Kakunyan account to one person, is money that is meant to be shared to people in 4 states. I think Lagos, Ogun State, and 2 other states during this period. Imagine in this age and time, what will happen if they collect the list forward it to one bank, and one bank will stay there. Everybody will get their alert within 2 minutes or within 1 day. Payments have all been completed. But again, when people want to be fraudulent, they decide that technology will not work. That's exactly also what happens when you in our local taxes, even in Abia here. When you are bringing a platform guy who maybe and we can use the POS and forward to government, and people would make it very impossible. They would prefer until they catch you, they get the money from you. And how accountable are they? When they go to market, they could bring up the place and say, everybody go slot your card, I'll pay it like ATM. Government sees, Abia can say we have raised 5 billion internal revenue. No. The only thing we talk about is with the allocation we got from federal government. Yes. But the one we got locally, nobody ever mentions, because they find a way to filter it away, and in a way that it will not be recorded. There's a saying that once you put money in cash, time it is gone. It has no trace whatsoever. So that's why they avoid technology. So back to what you're asking me.
Yes.
If it seems that this one has worked, again, entrepreneurship is key. But again, if you want to do it the old way, it is also, I mentioned today that You Win won.
Yes.
You Win was a program that was implemented, and it went seamlessly. There are other ones that they have tried. Was it Jeep or something, GEEP,
yes,
with a nicer bank and all that, using technology on platforms during, I think, Usibanjo's era. He tried, but I think a couple of people got it. I know people that also got it. But when you have a ministry that depends on, tell the senator to compile list of 50 people that will bring to Abuja and all that, then you are not being sincere in this Nigeria. There are lots that can be done in terms of entrepreneurship. Before now, is it ordinary cucumber that we get from Ugwausa? Right now, our people are farming it in Aba. A sincere government can say, where are 10, 20 people that are doing that farming, register them, do proper training for them. With 20, 50 million, you can change their lives, and there's a lot they can. Is it ginger? Is it SMEs, businesses? Thank you to the new government in Abia that is doing maybe infrastructure in terms of roads at least, which is one key thing. But then there's also places we could look into in terms of improving how incomes of people from the grassroots. There's a lot of poverty, and though one person you solve poverty for can solve for 2, 3, 4 people, and that right now we don't have companies in Nigeria. At the end of last year, what we were counting is how many companies folded or left Nigeria in 2023. We are not asking how many. If you look at the startup in 2022, I think Nigeria had inflows of, I think, 106 billion in terms of investment. Our former governor, Okezi Bazo, said that Aba Mall and which other fast food did he mention? And well, it is not good, but at least they entered. But this year, Nigerians lost 67% of investment that came as against 2022 compared to 2023. So investors are walking away from us. So the little one we have from government, we need to judiciously make it of it. And we need to find who are the people near these politicians who are talking to them, to give them ideas. It's not so much that you need to do. Look at, if you go to Ulona South Settlement, what Okpara did, how many years, some people are there today, they have not left. Their children, they have trained them in, just with palm, small fruits, and every single day, they are bringing produce to the market and selling. Our governments are not thinking wholesale today. The only thing is, when they arrive, they want a very big project of 5 billion so they can inflate it to 20 billion and cuckoo carry the distance. But we can do better. We can start from the scratch. MSMEs, micro, small, and small businesses, they are the bedrock of every economy. Any economy you see, over 80% of businesses you see are always MSMEs. So if you can get investment at that level right, if you can get small businesses running, small shoe repairers, tailors in Aba, make sure they have power. Whatever it takes, make sure they have power, pay attention, and they begin to roll out clothes and shoes that come out of Aba. You find them in almost all our West African countries. They are not sold even in Nigeria. You see the kind of bags they move. So we ask ourselves as government, what can we do to help? People are already doing it on their own. What can we do? Now that fuel is no longer in Neru Onyobonyaka, are there alternatives to that power? Can we distribute maybe solar to support MSMEs? How can they get, because if one person is working, we get a lot of school, and production improves, and business gets better, and the economy is better. So I feel it is not so much about food, as that food, whether it's school feeding program or whether it's conditional cash transfer, it's also important. But again, government has to be strategic where they invest, what they put into our economy.
Now, let's talk about the younger ones, especially those young school leavers. Why are we not really paying so much attention in the area of skill acquisition centers and even technical schools, as we used to have them those days, where people can be trained in tailoring, in hairdressing, in welding, and the rest of them? What can government do in this regard, especially with the technical schools as well?
Well, thank you very much. That too is very important. If you learned tailoring or you learned welding in 1970, in the 80s in Nigeria, the curriculum was great. People knew better, and unfortunately, electricity played a major role. But right now, if you are at least something that why many people na ga amụ ahịa o ị na-ele anya dede gị na-azụ ahịa na Port Harcourt Onitsha ọ na-alọta from Christmas ịhụ na obu akpa rice obu nke a you want to follow him and go back and learn how to do what he's doing. But power, electricity has killed most of the skilled artisans. Many people are not going into mechanic. Many people are afraid to go into tailoring because or even welding. You can buy diesel, GTN, a welding machine, or and you don't. By the time you may go in Laguna fuel and all that, most of them are now moving on and entering KK NAPEP as alternative and all that. So we need to make that place a little. The people that are already practicing it, a little bit more lucrative for them. Most of our youths are going also into tech right now, and maybe government can also look into those areas. For me, it's not the demand. There are supply and demand. If it's not about being empowerment now and training 400 tailors or training, let us build the demand first. The people that are tailors, how are they doing? How can we improve their lots? When people see that they are doing well, the people that are fashion designers, shoemakers, and all that, even laborers, the ones that are building houses, if we improve what they are doing, existing ones, then the ones that are coming in we don't have technical schools again. Unfortunately, I see BTC in Aba, Boys Technical College, it's almost like any normal secondary school, and there's no reason they are getting, because people are not motivated, or everybody now wants to go to university. You see? So let us have our government think through. Why are people no longer interested in only one now? Ask him only how is it getting tomorrow? How can they get? It's a very hard thing.
To see if we can re-establish link with Mr. Samuel Kuribe. It's time for us to actually to open the phone line so you can be part of this discussion. We are looking at that particular allegation of 585 million diversion of public fund to a private account by the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Betta Edu. The president has actually given directive that he should, I think, a probe should go on and the investigation completed as regards to what happened to that money. Call us now on 080-8182-6949 or 08116052949. You can send your SMS on 090-65108-289. Hello? Good morning. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. Ugonna Eric.
Welcome, Gunnar.
First of all, let me appreciate your guest. Has spoken very intelligently and was more practical than theoretical. And I think those are the kind of persons who want to occupy positions, who will say it the way they are and then follow it up with action. To the main issue, corruption is not a new thing in Nigeria. Embezzlement, misappropriation, and all the other hyperlooking names they attach to them. It's unfortunate that we have not evolved a system where we can, probe as we go. I don't know, people will be in an office, continue to do the thing, and then later on you begin to see this has happened, that has happened.
Okay, Gunnar Eric, sorry, we have Mr. Kuribe back on the line now. Okay, Mr. Sam.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry for the break. Yeah, so basically all I was just saying is government should put in a little bit more thinking and planning into improving the lots for and outcomes for existing technicians and artisans. Hopefully that will make their areas attractive both for learners and new entrants into their industry.
Okay, all right. I think we should leave it at that, but let me sincerely thank you, Mr. Samuel Kuribe, economic rights advocate, a social commentator, and the executive director of the Growth Entrepreneurship Center, an NGO based in Aba. Thank you so much for speaking with us on the platform this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Ginika, for having me, and I wish you a beautiful new year ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, let those calls start coming out right now. 080-8182-6949 or 08116052949. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Ginika.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, my honorable analyst. You have do a wonderful performances and analysis here in the studio. You have experience of what is happening in Nigeria. What I want to say is the president has seen it. And, corruption cannot stop in Nigeria. That is the only thing. And nobody that they will bring there that will not do the same thing. So what I'm even, because if you see what the former president did, you go in the Ministry of Education, last time they go, he bring somebody that doesn't have experience of education and put as I think Minister of Education. The man did not know the job. It's the time the man wants to step down, he said that he don't know the thing. He don't even know about education. So, but I think the president needs to do a lot to fix the cabinet in this ministry and some of these departments, so that things will be working accordingly. So that we'll not be, having experience of this diverting for public fund to private fund or somebody's fund. It's not good. So let the president do the needful and let the EFCC do the needful. Let them not come and, fight and fight. This thing will go around. So that we will use this one as an example. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. Hello, good morning.
I'm glad this morning. Mr. Geneta, the chief correspondent. Thank you, Siga, for it.
Welcome.
From the Branding. Well, thank you. I think time has gone when Nigeria used to be deceived, but this is not the time again. Was off. If they want to follow the right thing, if truly they want to show Nigeria the true color of 41 or to eradicate this issue of corruption, to eliminate it from the system, they must have to start by showing the example how. Somebody cannot be on that same seat. They say president have approved for him to be proved. Let him set himself aside. In terms of Western world now, they will see them, they will resign, or they will just step aside. So what I'm trying to say, nothing will come out of it, and then they will still be under the carpet. So if Mr. President really want to show us, according to him, when he was campaigning, that's one of the things he made mention, he said that corruption is not going to tolerate it in his own time. But now, what is going on? Let that better do.
Hello?
Aside, sorry.
Okay, don't kiss the guy for real. Maybe you call us back and complete your contribution there. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Ginika, good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah, good night, Eric.
Sorry, I caught you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I wonder sometimes we have whistleblowing policies, we have police, lawyers, ICPC, EFCC, and yet there is corruption, embezzlement of public funds and all that. And is there nothing we can do differently? Like the man that spoke earlier, can't we get experts, people of proven, known integrity, that have handled particular offices in time past with clear records, to man certain places so that we will reduce, if we cannot eradicate completely, the incidences of corruption and embezzlement? That is something we should do. And I also think that there should be a system where most things will be completely and totally computerized, so that we monitor things as we operate, we're able to see, as we operate, we're able to see. Because this idea of doing things manually and, transferring money and whatever into if these things were done, computerized, people could see them when they're happening, and then we will raise an alarm, blow the whistle, and this person will get apprehended immediately. Because if we continue on this trajectory, honestly, we're not arriving at our destination anytime soon.
Thank you.
Unfortunate.
Thank you.
Let's change our ways. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ugo Eric. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
And Emeka.
Okay. Emeka, welcome. Okay.
Yeah. This is a very important topic, very sensitive, and the one that has to do with the welfare of the mind. And then, if you want to end corruption, you must not be corrupt. I mean, person when trying to end corruption, and I think we listened during the time of Tinubu's campaign, we said he was end corruption. Then by that message, because I know some of them who get to higher position, also somehow it gets to the son of authority. So how can you fight corruption where you are corrupt? The system is very, very corrupt. It comes to mind. And it has to do with the people, the mindset of people. How would you policy government funds? You find yourself as a veteran of power. You begin to amass wealth. And then they are coming, their relatives to chat for you. They're the ones that will even, kind of take like you say, what you are there at 10 years ago, that's what you do.
Okay.
You are encouraging to see money. So in other words, what I say that this conditional cash transfer does not work, and you never hit for money. Yeah, listen to their guests, and just had good intention, and give the message. It's not the concept. And if you follow that particular message, the idea, it will go a long way in solving the problem.
All right. Thank you.
Problem of the power supply. So that is the once you work with and make sure that you have power supply. If you want to talk power supply, people will let you and then you make that thing. The economy will go.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think your points are well noted there. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Galeka. Honor.
Good morning. Welcome.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
I wish you all the same. Yeah. You are speaking with Mr. Mado Edward, aka Editor-in-Chief at the Iron Pillar.
It's been long time.
This is my very first time speaking with you people on this year.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Because of so many things to fall on me, I lost my dad 28 December.
Oh, my condolences, please.
Yeah. So come on your topic this morning concerning what the humanitarian person are doing. There's area I like what Tinubu did. No matter that Tinubu is from the other way, bringing Nigeria into difficult and hunger. But when you talk about electing, he doesn't do that. You see how you used to interfere in some states that have problems. You saw what happened to Akiri Dodu during the deputy governor's case. Interfere, and today now the man is enjoying the power. So the same thing he did to this man now has to do what? To proclaim. No, if it was the time of Buhari, he wouldn't have said anything. If you talk up and down, he wouldn't say anything. The person would still be there, parading and be giving on stress. But you look at what he said. So that's to show that that particular department, that particular ministry, they have fulfilled this country. They have supported this country in terms of they are helping the poor or whatever. They have supported this country. It is too bad for them to send in such a huge amount of money in a private account. So thank God to the Minister of Finance, whom that doesn't give up to that. And if there will be a way that they will be showing this thing to other ministries, you will see that corruption will stop. The only way to stop corruption is by exposing the corruption. So that now that exposing this humanitarian phase, that's to show that they are not doing well. You may be trusting the president. You don't know that people under the president are the one causing the problem.
Right.
But thank God that if you have a good, let them follow it up and see what they can do. I can do the job. Let them employ me.
I'm sure they've heard you.
Thank you.
I'm sure they've heard you, and they will get across to you if there's any need for that. Thank you so much, Ayapila. Now to our Facebook page. This one is coming from Ezeka Elvis. He said, good morning to you, Chief Correspondent. You're texting here in Omar. He said the high level of corruption in various parastatals across the country is overwhelming. Failure to probe, jail decisively with the culprits found wanting. I'm afraid corruption will soar higher than ever before. May God rescue us from hunger, greed, and self-centered leaders. Thank you so much, Zeka Elvis. Ibo Chinedu said, great work there. Thank you. He said, okay, you texted from Olokoro. He said, you personally don't expect anything from that allegation. It will come and go. Nigerian system of government is so primitive. Well, that's your opinion there. Christian Luther said, keep it up. Thank you so much. Well, I think we should just leave it at that. But you can still go to our Facebook page and drop your comments there. Let the discussion continue over there. It's time for us to leave the studio. Sincere thanks to all of you who called in. And we'll send you comments on our Facebook page. May God bless you. We really appreciate you. The show returns on Wednesday at 10 a.m., hopefully, God willing. And my name is Ginika Olwa. Sincere thanks to my producer, Samson Eze. I'll see you again. And let's keep praying for Nigeria and our state to get better. Good morning.